there's been bipartisan support for criminal sentencing reform, specifically for drug-related crimes. President Obama, we saw recently, commuted the sentences of more than 200 drug offenders. What are your thoughts on sentencing reform? How can the system overall be improved?
John, I think we did first.
Okay.
Well, there's right now, if a person is charged with possession of a felony 5 or felony 4, he's not going to go to prison. Prisons are filled, way over capacity. Our judges are told by the state, don't send them down there, you handle them locally. And that's what we're doing here, and that's why our jails, county jail is crowded at this point in time. But as far as there's mandatory sentencing that we have to deal with, and we have to follow the law, and whatever it is, and the judge has to follow the law. But I think right now, with the way the law, as we spoke earlier regarding the heroin situation, I think it's important that these people get the help that they need, that we can try to assist them. And by changing the laws, I don't know if our legislators are going to be willing to do that, to make them misdemeanors or whatever, by the amount of drugs they have. So I think it's just as prosecutors, we have to deal with the laws that are given to us. The judges have to deal with the sentences and with the jail space, prison space that they have. And it's an ever-changing thing that we have to look at. But I think drug courts are good. Our drug court, if you go through the procedure for the 1 year, do what you're supposed to do, your record will be wiped out. It's like you never had that charge. And we've got to continue to think of innovative ideas to address this issue, because the state prison, they said they're not going to build any more prisons, and they're not going to take any more. Yeah.
Well, the legislature has basically told the judges and demanded of them that they not send low-level drug offenders to prison. Now, there was a big controversy because African Americans had a tendency to get arrested with crack cocaine, whereas white kids got arrested with powder cocaine. But there was a huge disparity in the sentencing. Crack cocaine meant you went to prison and got mandatory time. Powder, you got probation. But it was the same amount of the drug, half a pound, 20 grams, 10 grams. Same amount, but if it's in crack, it's mandatory prison. If it's in powder, it's not. So that has been rectified. They have changed it. Now, we still have, frankly, some of the laws on the books about mandatory amounts of time for prison just really don't make a lot of sense. I mean, we have cases where people cultivating marijuana are facing a mandatory minimum 8 years in prison, for example. Now, that seems out of whack when a guy with a pound of methamphetamine gets 8 years in prison. So I do believe there is a lot of room for reform on mandatory sentencing. Frankly, I think we can trust judges to come up with the right sentence for people, and that's really what it's all about. When it's a mandatory sentence, the judge has no discretion. When it's not a mandatory sentence, the judge can still send him to prison about as long as he wants, but he doesn't have to. I think we can trust our judges to make these decisions, so I am in favor of reforming these laws so that it puts more power in the hands of the judges, instead of taking away the judge's discretion. I mean, we have very good judges in Starr County. We're very fortunate there. For someone that's practiced in Mahoney County, I don't need to tell you. But I'm just saying, we can trust our judges because they will do the right thing, and we don't need to tie their hands and say, you have to do this, judge, because they know better. Thank you.